Good morning, Goa. Welcome to the Good Morning Goa show with me, your host Shoaib on HCN News and Entertainment channel. And in our studio, we have a very special person who has been practicing yoga for the last almost 4 decades. Nishita Tambe, welcome to the Good Morning Goa show, ma'am. She is currently associated with three centers in Goa: Swami Vivekanand at the Junta House, the Triya Natural Health Center in Donapala, as well as Norbert's Clubhouse in Donapala. Ma'am, first to now yoga has actually taken the international standards, and we are seeing that everybody is following yoga. If I ask you your own experiences as how you encountered your experiences with yoga.
As I told you earlier, I have been exposed to it since a very early age, and I'm very lucky. I consider myself very, very lucky that I have got that experience since I was about 18. I come from a small village in Saurashtra, and my uncle, Mama, I call him Mama, he got into the spiritual path, and it has become an ashram. And thanks to that, there are many evolved spiritual masters who came there for camps and all. My first camp I attended when I was 18, and a world opened up for me and got me thinking as to what life is. And suddenly my perspective of looking at life changed at a very early age, in which I'm very, very glad that it happened. And after that, it's been a journey. There was a time when in my life, of course, earlier it was just the philosophy of it, but there was a time when, everybody goes through the ups and downs of life. I met another very highly evolved yogi. These days, yogis are as a householder. They don't need to wear a beard. They are householder yogis. They are just evolved, much evolved souls. So he has designed a breathing technique, and that is what I learned when I was in college. And it's such an amazing technique. It is more for cleansing up your emotional garbage daily, and it has worked wonders for me. So when I was going through the ups and downs of life, I continued with that practice. Then later on, the asanas, and then of course now I'm completely trained. I would say not completely. It's a science which is so deep. So it's like every time I'm trying to learn new techniques, because I know that is what is required.
So in the current scenario where everybody looks at fitness, and our activities have become so monotonous, where you require actually to move out of your normal life and get into fitness activities. How important is yoga in terms of a lifestyle altogether?
See, for me, I feel that yoga is not a separate thing. What it used to be in our ancient times, it was integrated in our day-to-day life. So it's like you take a bath, you brush your teeth, you eat your breakfast, you do some yoga practices. If you take that on as a lifestyle, as a part of your life, then you will not be just healthy physically. Yoga deals with your physical, mental, emotional health, which is very, very important, especially in today's society. You just read out some news. There are so many things happening. It is all because of the man earlier was not having so many needs. Today, we are more and more getting into materialistic life. It has come from the West. We have adapted to that, and now we are not happy with one car. We need a bigger house, bigger car, and that has created the rat race, that has created the unnecessary stress. And that is the reason today the West is going more towards the yoga, and now we are following also. So I'm so very glad that our Prime Minister, I have to take his name, it means a lot to me, because what has happened thanks to him is a lot of awareness has spread all over the world. There's a pride that we feel that this is an ancient science that we have given to the world. So I feel that is...
Around this myth of, a lot of criticism with regard to yoga came when it was being enforced, and it was seen as a religious activity.
Absolutely.
So, and while you say it's a science, how do you then, push away these?
It has got nothing to do with religion, because it was there when there were no religions. It is thousands year old, and there is an explanation for each and every technique, a scientific explanation. Now, our yogis in those days did not have the technology that the scientists have today, but they had their own body, mind, and if you do the practices, you will actually experience it yourself. So, and each practice, as I said, if you, there is an explanation how it works on a physical level, on an emotional level and mental level. So it is a science, nothing to do with any religion. Even the biggest controversy, I would say, is Omkar, the sound of Om. Today NASA has done an experiment with the sound of the sun. Om is nothing but the first sound of creation. Okay, the sound of the sun, they have, because it's not audible to human ears, they've compressed it in a way that it can be made audible, and it is exactly the sound of Om. So this has got nothing to do with any religion. It is a vibration, and it has certain effect on you, a certain positive effect. That is the only thing. What we are doing is we are using certain techniques to cleanse our body, to keep especially our spine. Spine is the main organ of our body. If spine is healthy, one can stay healthy. That is what we say in yoga. And asanas mainly revolve around the spine. And the emotional body, which is the sukshma sharir, the astral body, is so very important. So the breathing exercises, some of them are amazing for that.
So what are the different components? I mean, because I'm sure there are different components
Absolutely.
for every aspect of life, as you're saying, the emotional, the
Absolutely.
physical.
So in yoga now, Ashtang Yoga is something which you must have heard. I have to take sage Patanjali's name. It is thanks to him that this science is still alive, because he codified it. He has put it together in the Yoga Sutras, and it is there that he has mentioned the Ashtang Yoga, the 8 steps which is needed to reach the final goal. Now the word yoga is not yoga, it's actually yoga.
Okay.
Yoga means union. Union at the basic level is union of the body and the mind, but as you advance, it is the union of the self with the self. You call it self-realization, you call it, there are so many different names for it. Now, that is a very, very high level or high term that I'm saying. But let's stick to the basic 4 steps, which comes under Hatha Yoga. Okay. Just, there are too many new things you might listen. So, yamas, niyamas, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam.
Okay.
These 4 are Hatha Yoga. So these are the practices that usually people who are doing, when you say that I'm going to a yoga class, you are doing asanas, pranayams. Along with that, there are certain Shuddhi Kriyas. Shuddhi Kriyas are cleansing processes.
Okay.
So this creates a base. This makes your mind and body ready for the higher practices. Higher practices are more for the mind. Here, it is more for the mind and body to be ready to practice the higher practices, which will take you to the final goal of self-realization, or being one with your own self, being one with God, whatever you want to call it.
So many times, again, another myth is that the moment you talk about self-realization, the moment you talk about being one with self, people generally connect it to spirituality, and it is.
But it is a spiritual process.
In the sense, it goes not just spirituality, but it goes in the direction of religion.
That is very, very. That is absolutely not required. Spirit. It's the science of spirit. It's got nothing to do with religion. The purpose why we are born. We do the usual, sansar ki जो अपने को रोटी कपड़ा मकान खाना पीना whatever, that is part of our day to day living or our survival, let's say. But Is that the purpose of life? That is an animal instinct, right? What does he live for? He's hungry, he'll eat, he'll sleep. Human beings have been given much more than that. So the purpose of life that the yogis are saying is, and all of us who want to be there, is that it is to constantly evolve ourselves as human. Yeah, to get wiser. The evolution is a big word, maybe, become a wiser human being, right? So that process has to be on. So this was the only reason. The first 4 steps, Hatha Yoga, it's like your base on which you start going towards. Then the next step is Pratyahar, which is the bridge. Pratyahar is where our senses, the 5 senses right now are going outward. So we are more and more into the materialistic. They are drawn inward. They have no more control over you. That is a stage. After that, your mind can have that focus and not that restlessness. It is not in survival. Then it is the Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, which is the Raj Yoga. So the higher practices of meditation and all come under Raj Yoga. Nothing to do with
basically you're
religion.
So basically it is for those who are believers in the creation and who believe that there is somebody who has created, it is a getting into unison with your creator.
Absolutely. The creator is nowhere but within you. Within you. The divine aspect, the divinity within you. And trust me.
The unseen, basically, you're connecting with the unseen.
Absolutely. What has created this world?
Okay.
Yeah. So there is that divinity within all of us, within even the animals, but only the man has been given this to that he can. Of course, even the animals in our philosophy, I don't want to go, it's a different subject.
Yes.
But as a human being, I would say that is our true purpose. Yes, we go through, the relationships and all that, but the true purpose, the only purpose that makes sense to me at least, is that I want to grow as a human being. The evolution of process has to go on. It's a journey. Whether in this lifetime I reach the final goal or it may take lifetimes. We do believe in lifetimes, but that is the only thing that makes sense to me.
Coming to the practices itself, how many asanas, because any specific number of asanas that...
Nothing. You have to, in your practice, include, there are 5 ways we classify the asanas. One is take care of the spine. So there are 5 ways of stretching out the spine. Then I won't go into details.
Yes.
Then the stomach, here is most of the organs are here. Okay. The stomach area, there's a stomach compression. Then there is relaxation asanas. Then there is, we do also the inversions where the head is down and the legs are up. So that has many, many benefits. So these are the different, I think I said all, the spinal stretches, the stomach compression, the relaxation asanas, and the inversions. Yeah, and the other ones are the meditative postures.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there, now that the government has also come out with a yoga protocol as to how to go about yoga for even somebody who is not attending any specific class or anything, they can read through that
Absolutely.
manual. And so there are certain things mentioned, like your self preparation also before and after.
Yeah.
So if you could just shed some light on that before you actually start getting into
the practice. Yeah. Firstly, I would recommend that you must initially learn from a teacher, not from a book or from from TV or something, because there are some minute things, like the most important thing in the yoga practice, which I say to any new student, is do not do it mechanically. There is a difference between other exercises and yoga. Other exercises also, if you bring consciousness into it, amazing results. So here it is a conscious practice. The more presence you bring to the practice, more the benefits. So anybody who's a newcomer has to look at it. Don't let it become mechanical, that you are just moving your hands up and down and your mind is somewhere else. The mind is completely there and it has to be there. Use your breath. It's the beautiful tool that we have all the time. Use your breath to focus your mind. Use your body movements. And whenever you are stretching and holding the stretch, take your mind to the stretch. So all the time you are there in the present. That is where it start impacting your mind, your emotions. It calms down your mind. Otherwise, your mind is active. You are doing it mechanically. It is not going to give you the results.
So, to that question of mine, I mean,
yeah.
any specific...
So before and after, basically you have to be empty stomach. If you, I mean, the best I would recommend to people is the first thing in the morning. If you do, especially the pranayam part, has to be done the first thing in the morning. You will see amazing results. But the asanas, if you are doing it after breakfast, at least couple of hours gap.
So when you say pranayam, if you can just give a snippet as to exactly...
Pranayams are such important aspect. It comes one step later than asanas. So first you start with asanas. Do the Shuddhi Kriyas, cleanse up your body, keep your physical body fit, then get into pranayams. Okay. Now pranayam, pran is our conscious breath, and ayam means channelizing and controlling the breath. Now these yogis have designed such beautiful techniques meant for not just cleansing, but also for your, cleansing and purification, and for your other forward spiritual growth. Okay. So there are some advanced pranayams also. The Prabodhan, the Prakshalan pranayam and the Prabodhan pranayam will start your spiritual growth. Okay. So, and as I said, these are exercises where you are controlling and channelizing your breath for various purposes.
So, and after pranayam, as you were telling me, what should be done next?
So, today the classes include only, as I said, the asanas, the Shuddhi Kriyas, pranayam. That is what I teach. After pranayam, if anybody wants to seriously get into further practices, I personally have got initiated in a very ancient technique called Kriya Yoga. There are many other techniques of meditation. So that is for your further growth. So that can have some technique of pratyahar or maybe even dharana. But that is the next step. But if you do the asanas, pranayams, keep yourself, because if you have to sit for 1 hour, and if your body is tired, your spine is not fit, it's not possible. So to begin with, you can practice a meditation for half an hour and then take it on to 1 hour. Ideally 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. It's more than enough. But that I'm talking about the meditation practices, and it's not for all, maybe for all, it's a choice. Once you feel that yes, now that is calling me, it will call you, and then you can take on. There are many
so any practices. Prerequisites and precautions that need to be taken while you do asanas?
Very much. People who are suffering from anything has to first thing talk to the teacher that this is what I have, because there are certain, like say for example blood pressure, they should not be bending forward, because that can actually raise the blood pressure. People with low blood pressure should not be doing too much of relaxation asanas because it will lower the blood. So every person having a certain problem first should talk to the teacher. Teacher will have that much knowledge. It's not that everybody is a therapist in yoga, but would have the knowledge that okay, this you should be avoiding, and then slowly work on those aspects where those same problems can get better and better over a period of time. So I'm not saying they cannot be. Today yoga is being cured. Yoga is being used as a therapy. Personally, I'm more believer of prevention rather than therapy. And so I always quote that prevention is better than cure. The doctors don't like me because I tell my students, if you do these practices, you will not need doctors in your life. But it is true. It is a supposedly preventive method. So you take it on early in your life, you will not need doctors. My son, I'm giving you an example, I must share with, especially it can reach a lot of parents as a hope. My son is a borderline autistic, and he took it on seriously a year ago. In the last 6 months, the progress that I've seen, the growth that I've seen in him has been amazing. His reasoning, his logical thinking, which was missing earlier, has improved to such an extent that it is a marked difference. So this has given me another opening and hope where I would be working with similar special children. You never know how these breathing exercises, the pranayams and the other Kriya Yoga that he's practicing can do wonders for these children. So if it can do that to his mind, I'm sure people will know the benefits of it.
And though now, yes, obviously there are elderly people who, across ages who are into yoga practice, but there is also this thing that, yoga is for those who are, slim, trim, and who can do bend their spines very flexibly.
There are all sorts of myths and misconceptions. The youngsters think it's for the oldies. The older people, oldies, I'm also part of them. So the elderly people think that I cannot do it because I cannot sit down, I cannot bend, as you said. I have a 70-year-old lady who's been coming to me for more than a year now. She has her limitations, but she's so disciplined that I'm sure she has seen a change in her, difference in her health. She cannot sit down cross-legged comfortably. You can do sitting up on a chair. There are so many practices you can do. It is basically, the idea is to make your body flexible and make it strong. Flexibility and the strength is what we are working, and the strength is your core strength. Yeah, that what you are doing in a gym, probably you are going to a gym, you look like, the same thing can be achieved. I'm not saying don't go to the gym, whatever works for anybody. Using your own body weight, we are building the strength. So we are not lifting the weights maybe, but we are actually using the body weights to build our strength in our lower extremities, upper extremities. I run half marathons regularly. It's thanks to the breathing exercises, the rhythmic breathing that I've been doing. It has made a big impact. I run pretty well and in rhythm. So these are the things which are available to even elderly people, middle-aged people. Youngsters, I would say, if they get grounded in this, they will, see, they are right now young and protected. Tomorrow they are out in the world and they go through the ups and downs of life. The kind of mental strength that yoga can give you, the kind of emotional mental strength that they will not be put down by anything. So it's not just physical, I'm talking about the mental emotional benefit in inverted commas. That is what is very, very important for our youngsters.
So a holistic approach towards a better healthy life.
Better healthy life, but the health is not limited to physical, mental, emotional health, which will lead you towards the spiritual. And as you are mentioning the youngsters, my elder son is 26, younger one is 16. Both of them are into these practices. Maybe one day you can ask them how it has helped them.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us on HCN and candidly explaining to us in details about yoga and its importance and how yoga can be beneficial and getting us out of those myths of how it is conflicting with religion and spirituality, but overall a very holistic approach towards a better and healthy life. I thank on behalf of HCN and our viewers to you for joining us this morning and speaking to us. And yes, I hope everyone today there is practicing yoga. At least on this International Yoga Day, you will go out there to the various centers that are organizing yoga practices today, have by the Director of Health as well as Director of Sports and Youth Affairs. Centers across Goa have been set where people can go take the sessions and learn yoga and at the same time practice it for life. I thank my viewers for tuning in to HCN News and Entertainment channel. Until tomorrow when I'm back again with yet another guest, keep watching HCN.